What we're going to do today is I'm going to show everybody how to polish their headlights, or should I say revamp their headlights or recondition their headlights. If you like the way that looks, I don't know what year this thing is. I know it's over 10-15 years old. Looks like a brand new headlight. It's not. It's the original headlight that came on the car. And I'm going to walk over here now. And that is what the headlight looked like before I detailed it out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do it the proper way. And anybody that's a lazy ass out there and doesn't want to really actually learn how to do it, then you need to walk away now, because this is not for the lazy and tired. You're going to have to put some elbow grease into it. I'm sorry to say that.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
So if we look at our headlight here, you can see that it is old, it's deteriorated, it looks like crap, it's yellowed on us, the lens is just profusely unusable. When you turn this headlight on, the light is super dim, even though it's got the xenon bulbs in it, it doesn't matter. Very expensive headlight right here. You're looking at about $1,500 to $1,800 if you replace this headlight just because of this. Now, this is a common situation on pretty much all cars of today. Sooner or later, your headlights are going to turn yellow, they're going to look like shit, and they're not going to be worthless to you. I'm sorry, useless to you. They're going to be worthless. And you got 2 or 3 ways that you can do this. Now, there's a lot of these companies, these YouTube commercials and as seen on TV bullshit that's going to tell you, buy this little product, wipe it on there, it'll clean your headlight and it'll look like brand new. It will probably clean it because it's got alcohol in it or some type of a chemical that will eat a lot of this residue away, but it only lasts you for about 30 days or so, and then it goes right back to this. There's only one way to clean these. There's only one way to restore them, and it requires a lot of work, but I'm going to show you how to do it. It's going to take about maybe 15 minutes to restore this back to brand new like you saw on the other headlight. So let's go ahead and get started. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that our headlight is free of all dirt and debris. We don't want to scratch our headlight. So the headlight is cleaned off. We're going to take our sponge. Okay, and what I got here, let me show you what I got. All right, this is a bucket. And yes, like I said, you're going to have to use elbow grease. There's no way out of it. If you're a lazy ass, leave. And if you want to learn, stay. So we're going to take our sponge and we're going to make sure that all of the minor dirt and trash is off the headlight. If you try to do this and your headlight has dirt or debris on it, it will scratch the lens and you won't be able to get the scratches out. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and load our sponge up with some more water. And then what I got here is I got a flexible sanding block. All right? It's a little bit harder on one side than the other side. The gray side is always going to be your soft side, while the black side is your hard side. The next thing I got is a piece of 1500. Now you're probably looking at this and saying, hold on a minute. You want me to sand my headlights? Yes, I do. We're using 1500 grit, the same exact paper that you would use to sand this paint down if I was going to buff it. So we're going to take our 1500 with our block. That's very important. If you use your hand, you're going to miss a lot of areas and it's going to look stupid. All right, you're gonna have, it's gonna look like you got scratches everywhere. Don't use your hand. Even using your hand like this, you got grooves right here, and the sandpaper is only hitting on these areas. It's not hitting in between your fingers, so it's very important. Use a block, okay? And then we're gonna go ahead and sand this down. Now, as I sand it, I wanna be careful not to sand the paint, so I'm gonna use my little finger. Do you see how I got that? I'm using that as a guide, okay? And then I'm gonna come down here, I'm gonna use my thumb. So I'm using my hand not just to hold the block, but to also protect me around all the edges. Now I want you to watch this headlight as I sand it, and I want you to see what happens just from sanding it. Do you see that white milky stuff coming off? A lot of people think that their headlights are ruined, and they're not. What that is road grime, it's exhaust fumes, it's pollution from the environment that has gathered on the headlight. And another thing that ruins these headlights is when you go through the drive-through car wash. Drive-through car washes are the worst thing for plastic headlights, because they'll even do it worse than this. They will scratch your headlights, and then the lens, you'll have to sand that down. Instead of using 1500, you're gonna have to go all the way down to possibly 800 grit. But they are fixable, okay? You can fix them, but the thing is, it's just gonna take a little bit more elbow grease than this headlight here. So anyway, I'm back to sanding here, and I'm being very careful. I'm using my finger as a guide. I don't want to sand the car, but if we accidentally hit it, it's okay. It's not gonna hurt anything. It's not the end of the world. It's a fixable situation. Everything in the world is fixable. Always remember that. And I hope all you lazy asses that are watching this, I hope you don't get a sweat by watching it, because I had to, you know, do some physical labor here to actually do something. We wouldn't want that, would we? Mr. Lazy ass guy that you are. Now, I did 1500 on this lens here, okay? Sometimes when I do these headlights, like I said, I got to go all the way down to 800, possibly 600. And then I work my way up. So if I was going to do 800, then what I would do is do the 800 first, and then I would come back with this right here, 1000, and then I would go with 1500, all right? I'm gonna get that one more time, just to make sure that we got it all around the edges. And I noticed that this lens, it has something on the inside right here. It doesn't feel like a crack, but this headlight might be leaking. Now the customer requested that he just wanted his headlights polished. I kind of understand why. Driving down the road, the lens is yellow. You don't see anything in front of you, the situation. Once again, these headlights are very expensive. One more thing I'd like to mention is that if you have a cheaper, inexpensive car, such as a Toyota, for instance, or possibly, let's say, a Ford Focus, you can actually buy your headlights, aftermarket headlights, very, very cheap. I'm just letting you know, if you drive a Kia, for instance, an inexpensive car, you can actually buy a headlight for your car probably for about 40 bucks if you shop online. These are the Xeon headlights, very expensive, and the owner can't afford them, so we're going to go ahead and polish these. But even if you don't want to buy them and you want to polish them, this is what you do. So now that we got it down to 1500, we did a good job. I'm going to go ahead and take some 3000. All right. Now what this is a D.I.Y sanding pad that I use when I polish the cars right before I buff it. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this. This is 3000, and now I'm going to go ahead and sand that. And I'm really pushing really hard here because I'm trying to polish the headlight. Okay, I'm polishing it while I'm sanding. So the more pressure you can put on it, the better. And once again, you want to make sure that you get every single square inch of it. And now I'm using my hand, but let me show you why, because you're probably saying, hey, he said not to use his hand, because this is foam. Okay, and I'm folding it in half. So by folding it in half, you can see that I'm getting a good surface that I can sand with. Plus, another thing is being 3000, we're kind of just like going over it and polishing it, basically. You can already see just by looking at it that it's 1,000 times different. You can already see that. And if you hit the edge of your paint, don't worry. It's not the end of the world. All right, because with the next step that we take, that will clear all that up. But you can see right there, look at that. That looks like brand new. Well, I wouldn't say brand new, but it looks pretty close. And we're not even done yet. So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my sponge, I'm going to make sure that it's dry. And then I'm going to wipe that off. And I got a nice breeze blowing today, so the air should dry the rest of it off. But as I'm drying it off, I'm looking in areas that might need sanded just a little more. And I see a little spot right, okay, that's just drying. Okay, I see a spot right in here. I don't know if you can see that, this area right here. So we're gonna go ahead, and to ensure that we get that sanded properly, I'm gonna go ahead and take my 1000, and I'm just going to scuff that area right there. Just that one little area, that's it. We're not going to do the whole headlight. We're just doing that one area. And you can see, as I'm sanding it, you can see the white milky stuff that's coming off, the grime and the slime. So, okay. Let me show you what it looks like when you sand it versus polishing it. See how it looks like it's a dull area right in here? Okay, and that's why you take your sandpaper and you start with one grit and you work your way to a finer grit, because you're actually polishing your way to actually getting it done. Now we're taking our 15 and we're going to go back over that. And some headlights are worse than others. But I guarantee you, if you do this that I'm showing you how to do, if you do it the way I'm showing you, you can take the oldest headlight out there, and with enough elbow grease, you can make that thing brand spanking new. Now we're going to go ahead and take our 3000 one more time, and I'm going to polish that area right there. And most of you that are watching this, you already know what I'm going to do. You already know, because it's pretty much common sense. Okay, there we go. Now, I want you to look at that headlight. Okay, let it dry. And I want you to pay close attention to what that headlight looks now. We're getting it dry here. Let me get that dry. Let me go ahead and speed that up a little bit and we'll get that baby dry. I want you to look at it before we finish it. Okay, do you see that? You see what that looks like? It looks dull. Okay, it looks like you can't see anything. It looks like it's blurry. We're going to go to the final step. I'm going to show you the finished job right here. Watch this. And this is another little tech tip out there for someone that's watching this. This is actually a good money maker if you were wanting to make some money on the side. There's a lot of people out there that do this on the side, and I've seen people charge anywhere from $50 to $150 to clean the headlights of a vehicle. So that's something else to think about that you might want to do. But what we got here now is we got some rubbing compound. Now what rubbing compound is, it's the polish that you would use on a paint job after you paint it when you buff it. This is called rubbing compound, also called buffing compound. Now this chemical has microfine sand particles in it that help polish it, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and pour some on here. And the brand that I use is 3M rubbing compound, just to let you know. Now remember, we've sanded this down to 3,000, okay? The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my air drill, and if you don't have an air drill, get your electric drill. And I got this little buffing kit that I found over at the paint store for like, I don't know, $18. And it comes with 2 of these Velcro buffing pads, and then it also comes with the pad, the adapter for your drill. And then it also comes with a little waffle face foam pad for polish. We won't be using that on this, we won't need it. But before we do any buffing on it, what we want to do is we want to kind of get that wax moved all around. And what this is going to do, this is going to eliminate it from flying all over the car. And then it's going to also build up our buffing pad with wax. Okay, now that we got that done, we're going to go ahead and get our buffer, and we're going to go ahead and buff it out. Remember I was telling you don't worry about those edges? Now you kind of see why. Okay, it's really starting to take effect now. I'm starting to say that this here is almost done. I'm going to go over a few little places one more time. We got something going on here that's on the inside that I can't take care of. But you kind of get the idea what's going on here and how this operation works. Okay, you see what's going on here. It's looking almost brand new. To finish this off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove my wool pad. And then remember I told you in the kit it comes with a nice foam pad. We're going to go ahead and stick that on here just like that. And then what I got here is I got some 3M, and I just splashed myself in the face with that stuff. So be careful. I got some 3M Perfected polish, and I'm just going to put a little bit of polish on this just to give it that extra buff that we need, and then this job will be done. Alright, I think what we just did is we just saved this guy about $1,500 on a new headlight. It's not brand new, okay, and it still works, and it looks like brand new, and it's going to last him 5, 7, 8 more years down the road of nice bright xenon light that's going to keep him going and keep the deer out of his face, the deers I should say, out of his headlights and his eyes on the road. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete, showing you how to clean the headlights up, make them look brand new again, and get off your lazy ass and do something. I'd like to go ahead and tell you one more time, if you own a small body shop and you're looking at ways to make extra money, this might be a good thing for you to do. So, we gotta go, take it easy. My friend Pete, your friend Pete. Counting another one down so we can get another one in. See you later.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.